Welcome to another video. We're going to be looking at a game by Paul Morphy and two amateurs. Paul Charles Morphy was born in 1837 and died in 1884. He was an American chess player. During his brief career in the late 1850s, he was acknowledged as the world's greatest chess master. Morphy was born in New Orleans to a prominent, wealthy family. His father, Alonzo, was a lawyer. His mother was a musically talented woman from a prominent French Creole family. Paul grew up in an atmosphere of cultivated genteel civility, where chess and music were the typical highlights of a Sunday home gathering. Sources differ about when and how Morphy learned to play chess. According to his uncle, Ernest Morphy, no one formally taught the young Morphy how to play chess. Rather, he simply learned by watching others play. After observing his uncle and his father abandoned what had been a lengthy game, conceding that it was a draw, Paul spoke up, stating that Ernest should have won. This surprised the two men, who had not realized that Paul knew the rules of the game, let alone any notion of strategy. The opera game was a chess game played in 1858 at an opera house in Paris. The American master, Paul Morphy, played against two amateurs, the German noble Karl II, Duke of Brunswick, and the French aristocrat, Comte, that means like Count, Isoire de Vauvenargues. It was played as a consultation game, with the two amateurs jointly deciding each move for the black pieces while Morphy controlled the white pieces by himself. The game was played in a box while an opera was performed on stage. Morphy quickly checkmated his opponents, following rapid development and sacrifice of material, including a queen sacrifice. The opera game, Morphy starts off with e4, and his opponents, they decide to go with e5. Morphy brings his knight up, and they chose d6. Now this is called Philidor defense. Nowadays, it is said that knight c6 or knight f6 is a better move, but this is what they did. What did Morphy do? d4. What did black do? Brought the bishop down. Now, according to Bobby Fischer, this bringing the bishop down, it's a weak move. Today, a different move, and nowadays a better move would have been e takes d4, knight f6, or f5. But they brought the bishop down. Okay, what happened next? Morphy takes the pawn, and what did black do? Black took the knight. Now, what about when Morphy took the pawn? What if they recaptured? Morphy could have taken the queen. The king takes the queen, and now he can't castle. And Morphy could have taken the pawn, threatening to go here, or take the bishop. So let's go back. They came down. White takes e5. The bishop takes the knight. Queen recaptures. Then black takes the pawn. Morphy brings out his bishop, and now he's threatening checkmate in the very next move. What did black do? Black brought the knight up. Are there any other possibilities? Could have brought the queen up, and could have gone there. Either one deals with that threat. But let's see what they did. Black instead brought the knight up. What was Morphy's next move? Ah, look at this. Just rerouting the queen. Still attacking that f7 pawn. Let's see what black does. Black brought the queen here. Okay. What happens now if white goes ahead and takes that pawn? The king can't take it because the queen is protecting it. So the queen takes the bishop. And if Morphy takes the queen, the king can just recapture. So instead, Morphy gets that pawn. He sacrificed his bishop, but he got 2 pawns in the deal. Black brings out his bishop. White can take the rook. Black castles. White castles. Okay. But let's see. But white did not come down with the bishop and take that pawn. See, yeah, the queen comes over. They're threatening to take this pawn here. Now, if the queen goes here, white can take that pawn. And if black tries to stop it, you see, he's thinking he's got this knight here. So if white captures the queen, the knight can recapture. But instead, white can come here and say check, pinning the queen to the king, about to lose their queen there. Okay. So we know that moving the queen here is not a good idea. Okay. So when the white queen came over here, the best move for black is to go there. Now, at this point, if white were to take the pawn, what could black do? Black could come down and say check. This bishop is protecting the queen. It forces white to capture the queen. The bishop recaptures with check. And so Morphy only got that pawn. Instead, white brought the knight to c3. Black moves a pawn up. White brings out the bishop, possibly making room for the king to castle. Also now white is pinning this knight. If he moves the knight, the queen drops. Black tries to slow things down a bit by bringing that pawn up. Morphy sacrifices the knight, takes the pawn, pawn recaptures, so the knight is traded for 2 pawns. Bishop takes the pawn with check. Now it's black's turn. What do? Bring out the knight to block. So now let's look at this. This knight is pinned because there's the king. This knight is pinned because there's the queen. This bishop's going this way. This bishop's going this way. So neither of these knights, now these knights, well, this knight here can't move because that would be putting the king in check, so it's illegal. But, so he's in big trouble. Now this knight could move, but it would result in the loss of the queen. Let's see what happens next. White castles, and look, brings another piece into the attack, aiming right at that piece that's pinned. Let's see what black does. Black moves his rook over. White captures. The rook recaptures. But now see, look, the rook is now pinned. Now what does white do? White brings the other rook into the game. And you see, this rook can't take because he's pinned by the bishop. Let's see what black does. Black moves the queen just to get out of the pin. So now this knight can move if he has to. And he's going to need to because look what white does. Check. Black recaptures. Okay, now at this point, it's white to mate in 2. White to mate in 2. Can you see it? Pause the screen if you want to look around and think about it. Otherwise, I'm going to give you the first move. Here it comes. Queen says check. Now you see the king can't go here, and he can't go here. The bishop and the queen are attacking those squares. So it's forced. It's a forced move. Black's knight captures the queen. So queen sacrifice, but then the rook comes down, says check. The king can't capture the rook. The king can't go here. The king can't go here. Nothing can stop the rook. Nothing can take the rook. So it's checkmate.